wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you not a man.
That's it.
Hey y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
Hey, this is a record episode, this being episode 121. I feel like, and again, I know I made reference to this about 10 episodes ago, but doesn't this look like the open to the Brady Bunch? We've got 4 squares, and there's 3 of us. There's actually 6 people. That is a record number of people who have ever made an appearance in Stories Inside the Man Cave. And so before I introduce all these are some special people, especially to the Austin area. The 3 young ladies you see on the top right are all part of a team which has won 60 consecutive basketball games, and they're about to go for a repeat at the 5A level. And the head coach over here and the assistant, Donny Ott, J.R. Romero, it's the Cedar Park Lady Wolves. We're going to get into their story, but first we've got to give a shout out to our segment 1 sponsor, that being Kevin Hutchison of Realty Austin. You just saw him. He's been around Austin for his entire life, and he knows real estate. He makes it comfortable, and he's the guy, and he's also knowledgeable of the San Antonio area as well. So you just saw, first and foremost, that little intro video. Have you guys remembered, and you guys can, I guess, start with you, Coach, work your way around to the true VIPs, that being the Lady Wolves. Do you guys remember what it's like to lose a game at all?
Man, I'm going to let the girls talk a lot about this because I'm so proud of them and what they've done. And I know how hard that is for them to withstand such a streak. And I know that everything we put them through has been a lot, and so I'm going to let them talk about it. But before we do that, I want to make sure that I point out from my standpoint, we got 2 other coaches that are on our staff that aren't here today that I wanted to make sure I'll give a special thank you to Coach K and Coach Rebecca Zabel-Brewer that helped Coach Rowe and I, not only as the only 2 males on the staff, but also, they do a remarkable job for this program, the facets that they add to it. So I wanted to make sure we pointed out that there's a lot that goes into this. And so that being said, I think it's important that we hear from the girls and let them, talk about everything in regards to what you're interviewing with.
100%. Ladies, you guys, I guess, start from you guys pick out your order. I don't want to be the director here. You guys are the ones who have won. I don't want to be I'm very superstitious, by the way.
I just feel like we have built like a winning culture here. So I kind of feel like winning has become an expectation at Cedar Park. In my time being here, I think I've only lost like 5 games. And in those games that we've lost, they've all been hard losses that we wish we could get back. And so our team, we're just super competitive, and we go into every game fighting to win each and every single game, because when we lose, we take it very hardly. Mm-hmm. And so it's not something that we ever want to go through.
I understand.
Yeah, I agree with G. I feel like winning is pretty much the standard. We set the bar pretty high, and we just go and attack every practice, every game, pretty much like it's our last. Because, you never know. Especially last year with COVID, we didn't know which game was going to be our last. So we kind of just played and left everything out on the court. So it just feels like it's a culture, like winning is an expectation. So losing really isn't an option.
I love that attitude. Shelby?
Yeah, like Molly said, losing isn't really an option. You know, our motto this year is never being satisfied. You know, we want to go into every game. We have that target on our backs. And so we're going to play every game for each other and trust in each other. And we're going to come out with the win. And that's kind of our mentality. So, yeah.
The big headline always, big headlines sell. Obviously, the 60-game winning streak. But as long as I have known Coach Ott and Coach Romero back in my media days, that I don't ever recall this program ever not just being competitive, but competing at a high level in the regional tournament round, going to state. I mean, I remember a little point guard named Hannah Wheeler. It's those names. Those are the ones before you guys. And it's like you guys are creating, to me, and I may be overstepping my boundaries here, like the old Pflugervilles, even the Georgetowns, the Duncanvilles. I mean, coaches, Coach Romero and Coach Ott, when you look back at this and as you're going back to defend a state championship, I know your goal. We want to be like one of those programs, but how do you maintain a program like this where you're consistent as you have been?
Ro, he's been here longer than I have. So.
This is my 10th year over at Cedar Park High School, and there's always a standard at Cedar Park and other programs to perform at a high level and to have buy-in from coaches, kids, and community. And one thing that Coach Ott, when he came here 5 years ago, and they established that Cedar Park had never won an outright district championship. So it started that first year, and that's back when Hannah Wheeler and Nicole F. were freshmen, or sophomores, I'm sorry. And we had kids like Annie Callahan and kids like Kylie West and Alex Maresca, and we had kids like that just bought into what Coach Ott was trying to teach, and then that culture was established. So that first year, not only did we win a undefeated district championship, we made the first regional tournament in Cedar Park history. And so from that building block, these kids here have just taken it and run. And so the one thing that's always preached is athlete-led teams are better than coach-led teams. And that's one thing that we can honestly say is that sometimes we'll be sitting right there and the kids will come in and say, "Coach, here's your scouting report. Here's what they're doing," and they've already watched an hour of film before we've even watched it. And we're like, "Okay, here we go." And so. Anytime you have kids like that buy into it and a community that supports you and athletic administration that supports you, the rest kind of takes care of itself. And so these kids make sure that every day they have a championship effort.
Coach Romero, you said something that I'm glad you said it. So it has been, when I was over there at the coaching office the other day, walked in, and I have to admit this to you, G. I thought you were a newly hired assistant coach that I wasn't aware of. Okay, let me paint this picture for you guys, whether you're watching here in Austin, the great state of Texas, or we even have viewers in Germany now. I have no idea, but thank you for watching. But so Gisela is up on the dry erase board like a truly invested player, and I'm over here engaged. I couldn't stop. I was listening. She's broke down their opponent for the state semifinals. Now, do you do that every game? And then other ladies chime in. It seems like that's kind of like the standard, you guys preparing your own game plan or scouting the other team, that is.
I would say that we try to prepare for each and every opponent the same way. Even like we still prepare for the lesser teams that we kind of are expecting to beat. We still want to be prepared for anything in that game, especially when it's this time of year. That's when we really lock in and focus, and that's just one of the things that we do. We will prepare for anything.
How about you, Molly? Sorry.
You're good. We pretty much go into the game like it's the state championship. We prepare in every way possible. Even if second round of district, we were scouting our own team. So there's always room to improve. And yeah, we do our homework, and confidence comes from preparation. And that's one thing we do a lot of preparation. So that's why we're so confident we're going to win.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just invested in what we're doing in the culture of Cedar Park, and what Coach Ott has, like, the vision for us to what we can accomplish, and how hard he helps prepare us and things like that. And we feel like we need to give that back to him as well. And so, like, me and Megan, another girl on the team, we went to Starbucks and watched film and took notes, and we sent Coach Ott a picture of us watching the film and stuff. And he stopped by, and then we sent him like this huge thing for our scouting report. So, you know, we're just invested.
So you guys, you use the Notes app on your iPhones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Coach, both of you, that makes I know it makes your job easier, but you were showing me something, and I promise, the game plan is safe. I'm not contacting College Station. And that was some sacred information, but I'm just going to be honest with you, G. I was very impressed because even back in my day, I know it was mainly football. There wasn't many of us standing up in front of coaches breaking down the opponent. I was impressed, by the way. And I know this is old hat for you guys, but for you guys, Coach Ott, Coach Romero, is that normal nowadays for players? Or obviously it makes your job a little easier?
You know, I will say, you know, coming into the year 22 now, I guess it is. I've never experienced that until I got here. You know, I've always done the same thing, me personally. You know, I've always planned the same way. I've always watched film the same way. I've always, you know, broke down opponents the same way. I felt like that was what I could offer when I was an assistant at North Crowley. You know, I'd taken a step back from head coaching to do an assistant North Crowley, and during that time I wanted to learn. And so being in the regional tournament so many years there in a row, but never getting to the state tournament, kind of just motivated me more. Like, am I not turning over the right stones? Am I not covering everything? And then I think, to me, when I got here, I kind of found that missing ingredient, and that was the players reciprocating that. You know, and me having confidence and trust in my players, knowing that they do watch film, they do understand. And I guess about 3 years ago, it started where I had Sarai would send me one here and there. And then last year it was Sarai and Elisa, and then Shelby and G. And then now this year, Shelby and G have kind of taken that over. And, you know, I hope Molly, you know, takes over next year and just kind of sees, because for me, I like to have player feedback. You know, Romero alluded to it a little earlier ago. You know, I believe, and I'm driven by the statement that player-led teams are better than coach-led teams. I just feel that way. I do, you know, and I try to empower them to make those decisions. And they understand, and this is what I appreciate about all of them, is they understand that ultimately the decision is going to be made by our staff, you know, on who they guard and how they go about it. And what we appreciate about them is they're professionals. They respect that, and they go out and they play to the best of their abilities. And, you know, it's been a really good relationship. And it's been like today, we did a little kind of question and answer kind of quiz on the dry erase board of practice about who guards who and what situations. And it was really nice to see everybody on the same page with our coaches. So, you know, feel really good about that part of the program. And I'm very appreciative for the kids to reciprocate that for sure.
And before you, Coach Romero, I got to add this. You mentioned your two other assistants who aren't able to join us, but I have never, I can't recall, I'm never going to say never, but each time I've visited with you guys or watched from afar, it seems like all the coaches, every one of you, in addition to the players, it's like everyone is working tremendously hard. Has a tremendous work ethic. Like everybody's on the same page and just moving constantly. That's just my little feedback I've noticed. I mean, Coach Romero, I mean, again, I know I'm blown away by something that you guys are used to every day, but the game planning by your players.
The you know, something like that was pretty awesome. You know, I got very, very lucky when I first got hired at Cedar Park. I got hired by Coach Joe Willis. Got to coach linebackers for him, and then Coach Q Michael Quintero at that time was our defensive coordinator. So I got to coach linebackers under him. So, you definitely learn how to break down film and how to scout and how to do stuff the right way. And so whenever Coach Ott came and he was like, "This is what we do. This is how we're going to do it." I was like, "Well, that's easy. I've been doing that since I was working for Coach Willis and Coach Q." So, and then to have the kids buy in, it's something that Cedar Park football had always been known for. Our kids watch a lot of film, and when Coach Ott first came, he said, "Here's the thing: is that Cedar Park is real prevalent for this sport and whatnot. And, Cedar Park's known as this and, always a state contender in football." He goes, "I want to make that for basketball. I want it to be for basketball too. We can be both." And sure enough, and then, mixing the formula, mixing these kids like this right here. And then, you see the end result, it's definitely, it takes multiple parts for everything to work. And then,
right.
The other two coaches that aren't here, they work religiously hard. They're awesome and they're very vital to our program. And so, it's awesome to have buy-in from multiple areas for sure.
One thing I know you guys see the background behind us. It's the Alamodome, and a lot of teams, when they jump on a court at all levels, especially if you go into big football stadiums, it's hard to shoot because of the amount of space behind a goal. Does that even bother? I'm asking this to the girls. Does that even bother you guys anymore because you've seen this? You've played in some big basketball arenas before, even though this is a football stadium?
I definitely think that it's helped that we've been in certain situations before, like making it to the regional tournament and the state tournament last year, where we are in gyms that are where the rims are the same. So I definitely think that it helps that we have the experience of shooting on those rims, because I'm going to be honest, it is kind of different. We played in some gyms where like the light is right in our eyes and it's harder to shoot. So I definitely think that it's good that we have that experience of shooting on rims like that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with G. The experience really helped. Last year, and it's just like my freshman year I got to go along with the playoff team, and just being in the gym, it just helped a lot. And now that we're here, it kind of just every court feels like home. It's like the same thing. Whatever it is, like we'll overcome it, we'll figure it out. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, going back in to last year, and we're gonna play on that same court, and I feel like that's our advantage, is our experience. Like the other teams there, don't really have like the big games that we played in this year, and where we played and things like that. And I feel like that kind of sets us apart, gives us a little bit of an advantage. And but like you said, it's still, it's going to be an adjustment for sure. But I feel like that experience does well.
No, that's a lot of people say that about when you play in these big gyms, But you guys are so cool, calm, collected. I just don't think anybody phases you. Nothing phases Coach Ott or Coach Romero. And it's like they say a team is a reflection of their coaches. Is that accurate at all for me to say?
I would agree.
I'm gonna probably spin that backwards because I don't perform at the level they do. I give them a lot of credit, and I hope they understand that, because it in moments like this too, I give everything back to them. This is a dream for me. I've been coming as a little kid to these games, being drug around, in the stands and watching these people play on these courts back in the Erwin Center, and and then the Alamodome recently as a coach, coming there and sitting in the stands and watching and being so envious, seeing my friends. I've had so many friends that have had the fortune of playing in the state championship, and I've got 4 of them down there this year that I can't wait to be able to share the experience with. Chance over at Argyle and I are really close, and Mike over at Hardin Jefferson and I are really close, and so it's going to be really neat to be able to share that experience with a lot of colleagues now. And this year it's a chance to have a full state tournament, where there's going to actually be an opportunity for a full crowd and a full venue and other teams to come watch. And and those things. So I'm really excited. It's a great opportunity for our kids to share their brand of basketball with the rest of the state.
No, that's beautiful. So the best part of segment 1, it's always the man cave story, but we got to pay tribute before we do that to we onboarded a new sponsor about a month ago, and this will create some laughs. Yep, we're gonna keep it somewhat mild and clean tonight. I'm not gonna go with some of the detailed ones. I left the minute and 20-second long one, but all I gotta say is, so there's not one woman who loves a young lady who likes to see a man who's uncapped. That's all I'm gonna say. Uncapped, nasal hairs. If you have your beard, keep it trimmed, and everything. So, just for everyone watching, go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and it's free shipping with the code MANCAVE20 at manscaped.com. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence always. Use the right tools for the right job, with manscaped.com. See, I kept it smooth, to the point, and it's, it's just I don't want to get any kind of criticism dealing with the mixture of age here. It's respect to the young ladies. That's what that is.
You did good, man. You maneuvered through that well.
It's just huge. It's right here. Got to pull my Vanna White. It's the first thing you see. So this being episode 121, the man cave stories have been nothing short of phenomenal. I hate to use the overused word legendary. There's been some hilarious stories. These can be anything that you guys may have all experienced in the locker room, on a bus ride, all of you together. And you can call out people's names who may not be present to defend themselves. But any kind of moment, because I know you guys are very close.
Yeah. Last night we had team dinner and we did karaoke.
Uh-oh.
Molly and G over here did a duet to Toxic by Britney Spears.
Oh, no, we got to hear it.
And that was absolutely amazing. So
no, that was. I would have liked to hear that. I gotta admit, that would have been funny, I'm sure.
Toxic. So our sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance, he's a big karaoke guy. I've seen him. He wouldn't want me telling those stories, but log on to SaxtonInsurance.com. He's a Westlake OG, a Longhorn legacy, one of the most down-to-earth guys to actually talk about life insurance, any type of insurance you need. Jimmy's your guy. Anybody else have a man cave story you'd like to share that it could be recent, anywhere in your coaching career, maybe it's your personal life?
Those three girls have got a story each.
Ooh,
I'm sure.
You have a 1B?
They come out laughing every day, so there's no telling, what's they've got that's good.
Coach Ott is setting it up.
I'll say, something from my standpoint. I don't mind sharing it because Ro and I talked about it the other day, and we have a tradition, like we've kind of tried to wear the same shirt. We'll collectively, figure out what shirt we want to wear, and this year we've kind of been really sold on the gray Tiger Woods ones, and sometimes we'll have our old olive one. Well, in the regional finals, I admittedly left my black undershirt out in the bus, so I had to rewear my black undershirt from the night before, and it's terrific. So I was just hoping to God that none of the kids got close to me Friday. And Romero and I had a good laugh about it in the locker room, and we kind of kept that on the wrap. So I don't mind sharing that because it was pretty funny, and Ro and I had a good laugh about it. So there's my little man cave contribution.
I like it. It looks like you're in a man cave too.
This is I've got my office still set up, my old memorabilia for my Cowboys and some of my old stuff here that this is where it all goes down, so to speak. Try to watch a lot of film here.
I love it. Romero, or you have anything in particular that you can think of?
Yeah, I got a pretty decent one. Coach Ott's first year, there's two. There's two. The first, when he first got hired for the job, I was at my old home, the one that you came to a crawfish bowl at. Yeah, and we're over there. And at that time, my guest bedroom was just a mattress. It wasn't anything else. It was a mattress on the carpet. That's all it was.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And Coach Ott comes in and you know, we're watching some March Madness or whatever it was, and we're watching some basketball and we're eating pizza, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, Ro, serious question." He goes, "How good can we be? Like where do you see us next year?" I said, "Oh, Coach, we're a regional tournament team." He just starts laughing. And he goes, "You got to be kidding me. You hadn't won a district championship. What do you mean? You know, you hadn't run an outright district championship. What do you mean a regional tournament?" I'm like, "Coach, I'm serious." I'm like, "With the right coach, we could do it." I said, "I'm serious. We can be there." And sure enough, when we got to the regional tournament that year, we played Crosby in a tight game. We're getting dressed. And I told him, I looked right at him and said, "Coach, I told you we'd be in the regional tournament." And sure enough, we were there. And then, but kind of rewind that a little bit. So Coach Ott's notorious for you know, that dude doesn't sleep. He watches film ridiculously. And so anyways, right before a game, you know, and you know, we're in district play. I think it was a district game. Yeah. He comes in and he's dragging a little bit. And we're there. And I said, "Oh, man."
Right.
I said, I got you. I said, so sure enough, I whip out a Red Bull. And I'm like, "Here, man, drink one of these. You'll be good." He goes, "What do you mean? Like, what's it going to do?" I said, "Oh, it's going to give you energy. It's caffeine." He goes, "Okay." So anyways, we play at 7:30. And I drink mine at like 4. And I think the sub-varsity game was at, I don't know, 5:15. Coach Ott drinks his like 7:15. So right before the game, he's trying to give the pregame speech, and I come in, and our other assistant coach Kay is like, "Dude, hey, you're in trouble." I said, "Why am I in trouble?" He said, "Coach Ott was trying to give the pregame speech, and he kept stuttering." I said, "You got to be kidding me!" And he goes, "No, it's that Red Bull." I said, "Okay." So anyway, so I'm over there, and I get to the bench of the varsity game, and he's in a full sweat already. And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on right here?" And sure enough, I guess he got a little excited, and then ref gave him a technical foul right away. And then he turns around and he goes, "It's that team drink you gave me." and so what's actually funny about that is now, you know, fast forward 5 years later, we have a Red Bull before every single game. Yeah. And so you're kind of used to it now. So no matter what, we always have a Red Bull. And so if we're ever on a long charter and we don't have a Red Bull, we'll find a restaurant that's sitting next to a CVS. Yeah. We'll go to the CVS, get some Red Bulls for the game. And so
yeah, that was definitely an unforgettable experience. I didn't know how to drink one of those or whatever, so I drink it like it's a bottle of water, you know, and I'm just chugging away at it, and I like 15 minutes later, I've got all these thoughts in my head that I want to say, and they're just running together, and I can't. I mean, I'm like bye, and it's just yeah. And then I was like, "All right, let's go get it," and it was definitely a learned experience for sure. But I can confidently say 5 years later, I have a grasp on it now, and I'm a lot smarter when I take it and how I'm able to react to it. So no, it's definitely, those were some good stories. We got to get 2 more from the girls. I got one.
We'd love it,
man. Let's go. Y'all can't get out of this. We're over here cutting up telling ours, and y'all ain't getting out of it.
Let's see. Okay, I think I have 2.
Okay.
This first one is when I think I was maybe in 6th or 7th grade. And keep in mind, this whole team, I've been playing with them since like the 3rd grade. So I'm in like the 6th or 7th grade, and I'm going to the Georgetown and Cedar Park game. But it's at Georgetown, and this was like, it was a huge rivalry game. Like they brought out the band, like it was loud. And I remember us just getting absolutely like obliterated by Georgetown. So on the way home, I'm like, Dad, are we any good? And he looks at me and he was like, maybe not now. And he was like, when you're in high school, you're going to win a state championship. Oh. And I look at my dad. I'm like, Dad, I was like, I'm in 6th grade. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what? And he was like, y'all will be fine. He was like, it's gonna be okay. Like fast forward a couple years and like look where we're at now. And my dad's like, I told you. So it's kind of crazy that he kind of already knew.
Your dad's the modern day Nostradamus prognosticator over here. He saw the crystal ball. Man, that is impressive. Wow. See, this is all part of destiny. I believe in it.
Okay, I
like that.
Go for it.
So, kind of how Molly's dad was about like speaking it into existence. I remember in 8th grade, they were playing against Rudder in the playoff game.
I remember
the story.
And they ended up losing off of a buzzer beater. So it was really sad. It was a really sad moment. But I just remember Coach Ott's like in the corner, like really sad. So I remember right after the game, I walked up to him and I was like, don't worry, we'll be back here. And I remember we just hugged and, I mean, like Molly said, look at us now. So
she was there at the right time because that was a tough one because I called a timeout and it's not a good look because it's on film and everybody sees it and the refs just didn't see it and we should have won that game, but it didn't work out. So trying to explain that to the kids was tough, because you feel like you're responsible, like you have to coach them better in that moment, not to put the ball on the floor in the lane and just those things, so it was tough. And then to have an 8th grader, come down and, have the right words for me at that time and then just say, look, that's not going to happen, again, and it was, because we already had, a piece in place with Shelby. We had Molly, we had the pieces there. And then, G was there and G was a part of those kids growing up. And so that was a story for sure that I can go back and definitely recall like it was yesterday. It was definitely needed those words at that time because having to walk in the locker room and talk to Shelby and those kids after seeing how hard we fought that game and then just to see literally a turnover scoop shot off the top of the backboard in and your season's done, without a review, without nothing. And so it was tough, but and so like they all said, collectively they all have their story, Shelby, I remember last year in our run, Shelby and I had a talk at halftime because she wasn't being who I know she could be, and, she came out in second half and was who we always knew she would be. So it's incredible to be able to have these kind of just opportunities with these kids. There are things that I won't take for granted for sure. And I told them this year, going down to the state tournament to make sure that they live it up, take selfies, take pictures, do all those things. Because, me trying to tell them how rare it is to get here because of my experiences. And they've been here like 2 years in a row. It's like, look, y'all don't really understand. Like it is really hard to get here, And so I hope that they will do that, and really take the time to enjoy that because it's a remarkable feat for them. And I don't want them to ever take that for granted. I want them to appreciate that and really enjoy that.
Ladies, I can tell why you guys play so well for these guys and your entire staff. They get it. They really get it. And in life, I'll just tell you right now, not to lighten the mood or anything like that or depress it. Life's so short. What you're doing right now, you're going to be talking about this the rest of your lives, I promise. Remember when we were one of the best teams to come out of the Austin area, one of the best in the state of Texas. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue with these amazing young ladies from Cedar Park and their coaching staff, or half their coaching staff. Amazing. 60-game win streak. That's not the story. The story's about how amazing it is to go back and overcome everyone gunning for them. But we're going to hear their take on an arena which is about to be leveled. And we're going to do some TikToking in the man cave. That's coming up on the other side of this break. For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommended you.
Many things that happened in this building. University of Texas, how many people walked through this building and had the honor and the privilege to be a Longhorn.
This one-of-a-kind venue was certainly unique in the sports and entertainment space.
Being the biggest show in the arena, it's nothing like it.
We'll wipe some tears from my eyes. That, for all of us who grew up here and all of us who were part of high school basketball, the UIL state tournament, no offense, ladies, the UIL state tournament's known for, in my mind, forever. Have been at the Erwin Center, the same for you gentlemen. I mean, when you see that video and you see this is going to be one of the last few images of the Erwin Center, is it a sentimental type of moment? I know things change. That's one thing that's constant in life, change. But any of you have any memories of the Erwin Center? Is it hard to accept? How do you feel about it?
It's hard, man. Because there's a lot of memories outside of high school basketball for me there. College basketball games, concerts. I mean, I've seen so many concerts there, back in the day. And just everything that it stood for, just driving down 35, looking off to the right, seeing it, it's just, it's a remarkable piece of history that, I'm sad to see, being, taken away right now. And so hopefully they'll, make something positive out of that situation and remember it, because one of our players, their teammates last year, Elisa Knight's mom, made a living in that gym, has quite, the player for UT when she played there. So it's definitely something that's going to be tough for a lot of people when it actually goes down.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's the circus. It's the UIL basketball tournaments. Coming in from college to go watch Chris Clack. The Tom Penders, the Running Horns. I mean, boys and girls state tournaments. It's not just the boys. I mean, I've seen back in when I was in East Texas, those great Kennard teams. Amazing.
Johnny Carter used to coach them boys back in the day from Kennard, and there's a bunch of history that just ran through that gym that's just crazy.
Ladies, we want to stay on track because this is about you. Episode 121 is a trio of these talented, close-knit, just girls who won't back down, the Cedar Park girls basketball team. And again, for 60-game win streak, that's amazing. Undefeated in district for what seems – They haven't lost a game since Jesus walked the earth in district. But, you know, before we move on, I mean, I do you girls, what are your memories of the Erwin Center, if you have any?
Well, I mean, I grew up going to almost like all of the girls' UT games.
Right.
I remember like they had like a Shorthorns program
Yep.
that I was a part of, and like I got to sweep the floor like during the games and like hand out balls to the players. So you know, even now, like just getting the opportunity to still go to those games, I mean, it's really cool, and I feel like the arena will be missed. But I am kind of excited to see how the new arena turns out.
No doubt. No doubt. It's obviously lower to the ground. It's just a totally modern, state-of-the-art facility. I don't know if any of you have seen it yet, but it's it's going to be impressive. I'm over here basically crying without crying in front of each of you about the Erwin Center, but then there's something exciting about this new facility. Now, I know something that every one of you, especially those in the upper right, can relate to. By the way, segment 2 brought to you by FarmhouseDelivery.com. It's an Austin-based company. They source out organic produce grown on Texas ranches and farms, Texas-grown meats. And all you have to do, and I have to admit, I became a fan of butternut squash because of these people. Never tasted it before in my life.
No either.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and I tried it. But it's not for everybody. And they'll bring meal kits. They'll deliver it to your door. But before you press send, use the promo code MANCAPED for 20% off of your first order. Now, one thing that I know you ladies are – I don't know if Coach Ott, Coach Romero, do you have TikTok?
No.
I know each of those ladies do. If they don't, that's a rarity.
Zero social media. No Instagram, no Twitter, no TikTok, no – I can't live in that world. It's just too much stuff that I don't need to listen to, and it helps me focus if I just keep all those things out of my world.
It'd probably help me out because I'm just go ahead and admit it. I'm ADHD. There's no doubt about it. So, you too. So we try to pick out. I don't feel alone anymore. I try to pick out a video, and what I found, a TikTok video of the week, basically. And so there's a man on the floor. I think he's from Britain, London, England, on the floor with his bulldog. They're about to have a race to see who could eat food the fastest off the floor. Look.
2, 3. That's nothing. No.
What was that? What was that?
That was funny.
That was funny.
Have any of you got?
I have 2 English bulldogs, so that hit home for me. Seeing when it comes to food.
Have you tried that before?
No, I have not, but I know when it comes to food, they're up. They're lazy. Anything else you want them to do, but when it comes to food, they're up.
Oh my God! I've never seen anyone eat food off the floor, much less race their dog. That is phenomenal. That was the best I could find. Now, this next segment, I think all of you are going to like. Since we live in a society full of negativity, we like to end things on a positive note.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
All right, tell me something good, sponsored by our guy, your Realty guy, the one and only Kevin Hutchison of Realty Austin. We'll start with the VIPs, the true VIPs or MVPs, up in the right-hand corner, the Cedar Park Lady Wolves. 3 of them representing the entire team, and they've been a solid guest for episode 121. Tell us something good, ladies.
We're in the state tournament, and we've got 2 more games to win.
2 más, dos más, or yeah, that's bad Spanish.
I feel like something a lot of people don't know about us is that we like to do a community service project each year. And so this year we actually baked goods for first responders and passed them out. So
I think that's amazing. They really do.
Let's see. Just piggybacking off of what G said, we're in the state tournament. I mean, we've been waiting for this day since like September. It's been a long while coming, and it's like Christmas pretty much. Every day I wake up and I'm like, I can't wait to go to practice. I can't wait because it's just one day closer to the state tournament. So.
Right. I love it, lady. Those were good. Community service, winners, state champions, tradition. Cedar Park, man, that's a good combination. Coach Ott, Coach Romero, anything good that you see or in your life or maybe you've noticed around you that, man, you want to share with the fine American viewers?
Just me. This is going to be a huge state tournament, personally and professionally, and so I'm just glad to be going down there with the group that I have. And for me, I couldn't be any happier to have the experience with them. And, I'm looking forward to being able to have 2 more games with this bunch. That's the good for me is being able to go in and, get 2 more games with the group that I have is definitely something good for sure.
Absolutely it is.
Something good is, before the district year started this year, ever since Coach Ott and Coach K have been here at Cedar Park High School, our program finished last year's district run with 54 straight district wins. So we were 54-0. So have not lost a district game in the past 4 years. So this year, it was kind of a burden to run. Not a burden, but as our kid said, there's a target on our back just because we are Cedar Park. And they went unprecedented 14-0 in district play to go 68 wins with no losses in 5 years in district play, and that's in the same district as Georgetown and Pflugerville, and that's something a lot of people will talk about the 60-game win streak, but for these kids right here to take off and go knock off those 14 this year was pretty awesome, and so no doubt that we fully expect to get 2 more wins and one game at a time and prepare for each game. But something good is Cedar Park and this program with these kids is 68-0 in the past 5 years.
Wow. In district play. So for those who are not in the state of Texas, I just want to do yourself a favor. Google up Georgetown girls basketball. I want you to look at their pedigree. Go to Pflugerville Lady Panthers basketball, look at their pedigree. So that puts this all in perspective. And Liberty Hill as well, because that's nearby Cedar Park. All of you viewers across the country who are watching this, other parts that aren't aware of Texas high school girls basketball, I'm just telling you right now that these young ladies and Coach Ott and Coach Romero, they're an elite company. And it's like they said, it is a Cedar Park thing. I'll tell you something good as we wrap up is on this episode 121. Number one, something good, spending time with you guys. It was great to be back the other day at Cedar Park in that gym. It's just amazing feeling for me. I know it sounds exaggerated, but me being away for 3 years, that's a part of me. Number two, the sun's out. I know you're going to think I'm going to say, no, put the guns out more. I'm not going to say that. But the sun is out. March is the best time of year to be in Austin, Texas. You're starting to see more people lightening up and not being so uptight about everything. I think what's happening across overseas, unfortunately, and my light just fell off. That was not good. What's happening overseas, I think it's unifying everyone here in our great country. And we're thinking of everyone, the Ukraine, and we're thinking of everybody over there to have a stable life and a stable country. But the good thing over here is bringing Americans all together and to enjoy the life we have. We get to wake up and see things like these young ladies play basketball. We get to see the sun. That's something good, guys. And I appreciate y'all for joining me. And go win state again. And so we can do this again. But you don't have to win to be on here again. You guys all have amazing stories. Just being honest.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
100%.
Thank you so much for your time tonight. It was incredible. We appreciate the experience.
No, it was a pleasure of mine. You guys are amazing. You're fine Americans. You represent the great city of Cedar Park, and you guys are friends for life, no doubt. So for the OG Man Cave boys, that being Big Mike, Coach Mo, and Hardball Hards, and the new Man Cave alumni, that being Coach Ott, Coach Romero, and these amazing young ladies from Cedar Park. Cheer them on. Follow them. Let's get them on to the second state championship. We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.